The first Illuvium Insider for 2024 went down, and Kieran Warwick was on there, and he got interviewed and he got peppered and he got asked all the deep questions. Today I'm going to go through and just nitpick a few things from there that I really liked, give my thoughts on it, and just show you exactly what is going to happen in Illuvium in a little bit quicker of a version. I'm going to pin down below, if you want to go and watch the full interview, go and do that after you watch this video. To wait till after the video. First part that they do talk about after the intro to all of Illuvium, it takes about 15 minutes to intro and you're really up to date. But the first thing is Illuvium 0. I know if you have been a holder from the start, congratulations, you have held on well. Yes, you've got to play with land for a little bit. It's going to get wiped soon. But if we have a look at what they were talking about, as we can see here, Illuvium 0 airdrops, mega cities, and land rating. We knew about mega cities. It doesn't look like it's going to be there at the start. When it fully first releases, I didn't expect it to. I think there's a lot too much that goes in on the back end that needs to be sorted out before mega cities come into play. Land rating is also in there. It's not going to be there at the start, but it is definitely something that they need to flush out. There needs to be some sort of PvP element to 0. Otherwise, people that don't really own the land, there's not really any reason to go and play it. Like just to build a city, yeah, that kind of gets old pretty quick. But if you're going in and then you can build your city up and then go and raid someone else's city, even if it is the people that own land go against people that only own land, and then people that don't own land, they have their own separate one, up to however they do it. But it definitely needs to be fair for people that own their land and people that don't. But it does need to be in there if we want this game to be also a non-owned player playing the game. So we'll go and listen to what Kieran said about the airdrops, because this is really, really good information. And if you're like me and bought land on the sale, you are going to get rewarded. Because it has been a lot longer than expected, they want to just repay the favor of us being very, very loyal and keeping our land and playing and just waiting and waiting and waiting. So let's go and hear what Kieran has to say.
We're going to start with the airdrop bit. What the heck do you mean airdrops in Illuvium 0? What is this?
So they give us money. But so I was actually debating whether or not we took that off, because it's not really known. This is a little bit of alpha. We are toying with the idea, maybe a little bit more than toying with the idea. But there's been very, very loyal people that bought land back 2 years ago now, and we feel like they deserve something, right? And it's a bit of a hotly debated topic, but we really feel like the loyalty there deserves something, and so we're planning to do a couple of there's another bit of alpha for you, but
a couple, you say?
Yeah, a couple of fuel airdrops where you'll get a crate if you're holding land. It's a really good bonus. I looked at it based on what the average person is holding, and I think it'll be a nice thank you for being with us on the journey. And so we're looking to get that out pretty soon.
Yes, you heard right. He does think there's going to be multiple airdrops, little care packages, would you say? Little side avenue. This is not approved yet. It's not 100%, but usually if he's willing to speak about it on camera in an interview like this, it's probably going to get enough traction to be okay and get the push on. But what I really like, other than just getting some free rewards for holding on some land for so long, is that this kind of gives the land and Illuvium 0 just a really quick boost at the start of open beta. Because if you think about it, you need the fuel to go into the overworld to go on a run. If Illuvium 0 releases the same day as Overworld, no one is going to have any fuel from Illuvium 0. So if we get this little care package to the landowners, you can take that fuel and go straight into Overworld if you want, or you may reinvest that into your land to then push forward with your land to really progress fast, so then you can make more fuel within yourself and just progress a lot faster. I think this is a really, really good reward that hits on a couple of different avenues that is really going to help Illuvium 0 and pay respect to all the people that held on to their land. Next one we move on to is Illuvium Overworld. Is probably the one I'm most excited for. Just very keen, especially after going and playing Power World and looking how fun it is to run around, capture monsters and do stuff like that. Obviously Illuvium is its own beast and has a little bit different of a style and feel and what you actually do with your Illuvials, but running around and feeling like this is what the Pokemon game we always wanted, that creature capture that we always wanted. It is getting built. So if you have a look at what they're actually talking about, the main one that I really love here is solving the emptiness. I did talk about this on my previous video about what Power World did well and what Illuvium needs to do on open beta. So the main thing is solving this emptiness with alluvial hunting, the tutorial experience, multiplayer, plant combat, more materials all around, and enhanced combat. So a lot of these things, from what he's saying, will be there from open beta, which is what we need. Maybe not the alluvial hunting as such, like you go and like shoot them and catch them straight away. They are looking at that as a technique. We will go and listen to what he says about that soon. But actually having the alluvials in the overworld, it will make it feel that much more immersive and just amazing to run around. It will feel real. You can walk up and feel the alluvials. Obviously not with your real hands unless you get some VR going and put the old things on. But anyway, it will just feel more immersive. It will be more fun. It's not just shooting these wakes and going and doing an arena battle. You just don't get that connection. But let's go and listen to what Kieran says about this, solving the emptiness, because there is a few more things than just alluvials in the overworld.
Yeah, so look, it's absolutely no secret that we've had a lot of feedback saying that the overworld is empty. It's beautiful, and you can walk around, and it looks AAA, and there's awesome movement mechanics and all sorts of stuff like that. But it's just not the same when you're not seeing the alluvials, right? That's the first thing. And Andre did a little test. I don't know. It was like maybe 3 or 4 months ago now, and it was a few different alluvials roaming around the overworld. And when I saw that, it just obviously I wasn't playing it myself, but it completely changed my entire perception of the overworld. It went from being empty to being super immersive, super interactive. It gave me a different feeling. Like it just hit differently, right? Like you don't get the same connection with the characters. And for those who have been following the project and seeing, what I've been saying for years now, in a creature capture game, you have to have that connection with the character. And it starts with being inside of their world. And the combat system that we've chosen, the auto battler, is good. But the problem with it is if you're not seeing that alluvial in the world that you live in, you just don't get that same connection. You don't even see the character in the same light as what you do in the auto battler, right? Like the auto battler has amazing graphics, but it's like top down. It's much further zoomed out. Like this, you're not feeling like this is an alluvial in its own habitat.
That makes sense. You can't just walk up to it, which is like the natural experience you would expect to get a connection with a character in a video game. Whereas if these alluvials are in the open world, the overworld, just walking up to them, just looking at them, interacting with them, it feels more natural. It feels like you're actually meeting that character versus it just being on a chessboard and you use it to kill the other guy. It's more human in that way.
Exactly what I was trying to get at. It is more immersive. They are there. They feel like you're actually in the world walking around and look, there's an atlas over there. Look, there's a ramfire flying around. How amazing would that be? That is exactly what we need. It's if they aren't in there by open release, which they 100% say that they will, but if they aren't there, you got no hope. People are not going to come play the game. And that may put people off and they never come back to the game. Yes, games like Cyberpunk have been able to rectify themselves after a shitty release and come back bigger and better than ever, but that does not happen to many games. Most people give a game one chance and then they write it off. We just need this to happen. I know it's going to happen, and it is just going to be a game changer. You see how crazy Power World has gone. Both Andrew and Kieran both look at that as a success for Illuvium as well, because it just shows that there is an interest there for a creature capture, even if it doesn't have a huge IP backing it. It's not Pokemon, it's not Digimon, it's not Yu-Gi-Oh! It's nothing that has captured the lives of people forever, that you don't have the nostalgia that you played that when you were 8. It is a new IP. You have no idea what these alluvials are. Well, people won't have any idea what the alluvials are. People don't know what those powers are. I know they look like Pokemon, but the thing is they don't have a background. The game ends up being meaningless. There's no story, minor story. But you don't have that lore behind them. You don't really fall in love with the characters. What Illuvium will also be doing is giving you the lore behind the characters. You will go and battle them. You will feel connected to them. You will fall in love with the characters. And everyone will have their favorite alluvial. Once people have their favorite alluvials, it is very hard to take them out of this game. They will continually play the game, try and find the best one of that, and just keep repeating and they'll stay in the game for longer. I don't feel like Illuvium's going to be a flash in the pan. Power World does have that stink about it that after 3 months or so that it will literally go downhill. Yes, it's fun. I understand it is amazing, but games that don't have the full storyline and lore behind them kind of do wither away a lot quicker than ones that have that whole backbone within the game as well. It's not just a fun game. It has story, it has value, it has merit, it has just something you can fall in love with, plus being fun. We'll keep going and he'll talk about the hunting right now, which is a lot more in depth than what I expected it to be. I thought it would just be go up, you start shooting them, and then yeah, that's it. You catch them, but we'll listen to what
Get
Kieran
these in
has to say.
immediately.
Yeah.
And then we started thinking about it, and I believe myself that alluvial hunting combined with the auto battler will be an awesome combination, right? Like being able to see the alluvial, then track the alluvial, then you've got to shoot it to hunt it down, and then finally going into the auto battler. I think that's going to be a really, really good sequence, which is new to people. It's definitely never been done in any creature capture game out there, and I think that's going to be super exciting. But we are also playing with the idea of actually being able to capture them without the auto battler at all, right? Like that may be the final state we go to, but I don't know. I just have this sneaking suspicion that you'll find that it's a lot of fun to go into the auto battler, play that strategic game where you've got a battler, you've got to beat them, then you try and capture them. I think that combined with actually seeing them and hunting them down in the overworld will be pretty cool.
I really love that there. There may be two different ways that you can go in and capture the alluvial. You may be able to go and whittle it down, take down its health, like in Power World, and then go and catch it with your shard. Or you can go down, whittle it down, catch it, and then go into the arena style battle, beat them in the PvP match, and then catch it with your shard. Unsure how this will work either way, but I really do love it that you may have multiple options to go and catch your alluvials with. This just opens up and expands the game into different dimensions. People will have the way that they like to play. People may like to play this way or that way, and that just, the more choices that people have ends up being more fun. Cut the fluff, guys. This is stopping right now. The rest of the video is coming in a few days. More comments, more likes, more everything down below. The more keen I can see that you are for the rest of the video. That is about it. Hit the subscribe and become one of my little fluffers.